And quite frankly, so does every other SEC school and every school in the nation for that matter. And that problem is the collegiate apparel market. It's antiquated, it's boring. I mean, guys, look at these top Google search results for Alabama shirts and Auburn shirts. Fans are tired of the same old team logo slapped on a pocket tee, the same old overpriced jerseys, the same old everything, and are longing for something more. So what's the solution? We're the solution. We're the Tradition Apparel company, and we're the first and only officially licensed collegiate apparel brand that's founded on leveraging creativity and acting on current trends to create apparel that speaks to fans in a whole new way. We proved out our concept last year with the launch of our Auburn-specific branch, Rolling Oaks Clothing Company, and we intend to further prove this out at every SEC school and beyond with the Tradition Apparel Company. So, how do I know all this? Well, the demand actually found us first. You see, this all started when a buddy of mine and I had a simple idea for a simple design that read "Freeze Pearl, make Auburn great again." And we were excited about this new athletic era that was coming to Auburn under our new head coach, Hugh Freeze. So we drew the design up on a shirt, we drew it up on a flag, and the next day was actually the first game day of that college football season. So we stuck our flag into the game, held it up, got it on the Jumbotron, and from there it just went crazy, viral, and the next few months were absolutely nuts for us. We got on Barstool Sports a handful of times. We actually snuck our flag into ESPN's College Game Day, which was in Tuscaloosa, so that was pretty scary, but it led to a ton of revenue and a ton of traffic for the site. The man himself even tweeted about us a handful of times, and my mom was sending me pictures of folks she was finding out in public wearing our merchandise. By the end of that football season, we'd done nearly $60,000 in revenue, and it was clear that we had stumbled upon an entirely untapped sector of the market that fans are just longing to have filled. I'm going to take you guys back to that first slide real quick and show you the problem with this market can really be boiled down to one word, and that word is creativity. Those top Google search results for Alabama shirts and Auburn shirts don't just end within the state. That's the case at every university in the nation. I mean, look at that sea of blandness. All of our competitors have been copy and pasting the same old tired designs, if you can even call it that, at every university in the nation for 20, 30 years. They never take the time to pay attention to current fashion trends that fans and alumni alike are buying elsewhere at other brands. And they certainly never take the time to lean into the traditions that make each and every university special. Traditions like we have here at Auburn, like Obby, like the Eagle, like Rolling Tubers Corner. These things are the very heartbeat of a university like Auburn, and that heartbeat exists at every university in the nation. Our key differentiator is that we have our finger on the pulse of that heartbeat. We're paying attention to what fans are buying elsewhere at other brands, and we're leaning into the traditions that make each and every university special. And I'm going to show you guys an example of how we do that. So, I'm sure many of you grew up watching Schoolhouse Rock. If not, it's a much beloved educational show from the 70s, 80s, but what's old is new again. So let's see what happens when we take that and combine it with Auburn and what makes Auburn special. Boom. You get one of our coolest designs to date. This one hasn't even hit the market yet, but from the feedback I've gotten from the few copies that are floating around on the backs of my friends walking around campus, this one's turning heads all across the plains. And that's just one variation. We can replicate our process at every single university in the nation, building out entire collections that just resonate with fans on a different level. And to show you guys that visually, I'm going to take you back to that sea of blandness one last time. And let's see what happens when we put our Tradition Apparel twist on. Boom. Now, I know all of our eyes are probably immediately drawn to that Bruce Pearl hoodie, but I also know that each and every one of us in this room has a friend or family member who would die for a version of their own alma mater. And that's just one collection. We're building out an entire portfolio of designs and specialty-made pieces that are just different. They're unlike anything that's on the market today, and fans are loving it. Trust me, guys, this is just the beginning. We've got it all. We're even working on a high-end women's brand. This one's sort of akin to a Parker Daily Drills. If you haven't heard of that, I bet your daughter has, and we call this one collegiate. So by now, I hope you're starting to notice a common theme with this business. It's our core philosophy, and that is, in everything we do, we try to make it as personal as possible to each and every fan at each and every university. And our website is the prime example of that, so I'm going to walk you through it. It all starts with our landing pages. Each and every piece of our landing pages are ultra-personalized to each and every school. All relevant buttons change to be related to the university's primary color. Here, that's Auburn's classic orange, but that's the case at every single university that we sell products to. All of our copy is meticulously thought over and written to feel personal, feel as though it's coming from someone attached to the university. And all of our landing pages have special little additions. On this one, it's that Hugh Freeze review. Now, I coded that in there myself, but that's a real tweet that we made about our products. And these these little personalization efforts compound and add up in a huge way. They make all the difference to the end consumer, and no one in the industry is doing this. Because of that, we're tripling the industry standard on key metrics. Our cross-tested offers give us the best average order value. Our carefully targeted upsells and limited time offers give us the best conversion rate. And our highly personalized email and SMS campaigns give us the best customer lifetime value. We built the most well-oiled machine of a store in this industry, bar none. Now, I just mentioned upsells there, but I want to delve into that one more time for a second because our upsells are awesome. Fans love them. We obviously had a huge hit with the flags. We think that's a really underserved market. We sold just as many of our upsell products as we did of our shirts and our hoodies. So this is something we're really getting into. Fans absolutely adore this stuff, and we see that as being another component of our business. So when I first got into all this, I didn't realize that licensing is a thing you need to sell collegiate apparel. So eventually, I got in contact with Auburn University's licensing department, and they put me in contact with some really amazing partners. And since then, we've been able to build out supply chain. And this is how it works. It starts with print on demand. Treadco is our primary print on demand partner. Print on demand means there's no inventory required, which allows us to be flexible and quickly test new designs with little to no risk. Now, once we've proven out the demand for design, we can bulk order inventory on the cheap at one of our many inventory partners spanning the whole nation with hundreds of universities under their purview. I want to point out that thing in the middle right there. We're an officially licensed CLC retailer. That's the CLC seal. This is an achievement I'm really proud of. I spent pretty much all summer working on that, and this gives us a clear path to scale this business across the nation. Now, here's a brief look at our team. My name is Harrison Irby. I'm the CEO and founder, and here's a brief look at our TAM. Our differentiation gives us a clear path to take share of the roughly $9.6 billion collegiate apparel market. Now let's get into the numbers. So our costs are low and our profitability is high. Our t-shirt cost right now averages out about $14. We can get that much lower when we're bulk ordering inventory. Our customer acquisition cost is only $6. Now, I'm not going to sound very modest saying this, but that's crazy in this industry. That's only about 1/7 of our average order value. And all in all, that gives us a roughly 40% profit margin. Now that customer acquisition cost, coupled with our conversion rate of nearly 5%, beats the industry standard on every metric. We even had a judge last round get so excited about it, he said we found an infinite money glitch. So that was a pretty cool thing to hear from you guys. I admire y'all a lot. This gives us a clear path to scale this business nationwide, and with that scale comes some really exciting numbers. So we based our projections off of our experience at only one school with only 2 designs. And I'm the first to acknowledge that not every design is going to be a hit. We factored that into our business model and factored that into our projections here today. Now, on a slow and steady rollout with a more conservative approach, we're projecting to reach 16 schools by full year end 2027. This gives us nearly $10 million in revenue, and at a 30% profit margin, that gives us nearly $3 million in profit by year end 27. But to reach that scale, I'm going to need your help. We're here today asking for $30,000, and we want to use that money primarily in the form of working capital on ads and inventory. Like I said, we had a judge last round who called our ad funnel an infinite money glitch, and he also advised us to dump every dollar we could get back into that ad funnel, and that's exactly what I intend to do. That's going to be our primary thing, and secondly, I want to use this money to continue to grow our team, our human capital or our creative capital, as it's called in this business. Our graphic designers really are first class. They're one of a kind. We want to continue to grow out that team and therefore continue to expand our product offerings. We're going to build first real brand in collegiate apparel. A brand that we'll talk about around the dinner table just like we'll talk about around the tailgate. We're going to leverage creativity and craft novel apparel that does more and says more than anything that's on the market today. We're going to meet fans where they are and build something truly special. And I want to take a second to thank each and every one of you in this room. If it hasn't been for Tiger Cage and all the amazing folks at Auburn 2 Venture Accelerator, I wouldn't be at all where I am today. And it's because of all of you that I'm excited to announce, as of this morning, we have relaunched. We're live, so you can go get your stuff now. And here to celebrate that, I brought a few friends with me here today. So come on in, guys. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Are you in the design business or are you
and clothing. It's because that barrier to entry for so long has been pretty high. You have to be licensed with these universities. And a lot of the competitors, of which there are surprisingly few, have gotten really, really complacent. We want to really revolutionize this industry and build the first true brand.
So you protect, so everybody's got an IP and product. You protect these various designs and slogans through licenses?
Yes, sir.
Or is it the Auburn piece that is licensed?
So, I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
So, the whole Pearl Freeze logo, which is kind of a Trump play, do you have that license? Do you have that?
Yes, sir. So yeah, we're licensed through Auburn to incorporate every element that Auburn has under their purview.
He's asking about the Trump image and likeness.
Oh no, that's not.
Is that considered parody? I guess would that
Yeah.
be considered protected by parody? So
Yes, sir.
That's the same thing like the Grand Theft Auto and the Schoolhouse
Yes, sir.
Rock.
To cut to the chase, so someone else can go and replicate that.
Well, to answer what you said, it is considered parody. And the good thing is, when we work with these universities, they're not really in the business of pitting different licensors against each other. So they'll often turn people down. For example, 47 brand has a lot of classic stuff they've done over the years. They don't let other people replicate 47 brand on their designs, even if they don't have a trademark on that specific look. So, does that answer your question?
But again, you're not having to pay Ubisoft for that Grand Theft Auto likeness, is what I'm saying.
Yes, sir. In cases where something like that would be a possibility, we're going to
So
code.
you're just waiting on that cease and desist order, and then you'll react accordingly,
Or the
right?
bears over there, right? Where the tigers are like Grateful Dead.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and it's something like that where that would be the case. We're going to co-brand it with those IP holders, and there's precedent for that. Thankfully, we live in a new era of NIL where co-branding is pretty common. It's usually with the athletes, but more and more it's being done with other existing properties. We want to leverage that, but that's not going to be the core of our portfolio. It's going to be everything. It's going to be. There's a lot that I didn't bring with me here today. We're going to have a whole different section of the portfolio that's not playing on any existing IP, as well as co-branded designs.
But that's what differentiates you, is your design.
Yes, sir.
Right, the creativity, which is you.
Yes, sir.
Right. So the value of the company is really huge.
Well, we think we've unlocked a sort of replicable formula here, and that's what I tried to show you guys with the Schoolhouse Rock example.
Yeah.
But there really is so little being done that we see it as an infinite flywheel of products. And that's why I've been working to, we had the Freeze Pearl Rolling Oaks stuff here in Auburn, and I've taken all my time since then to expand and connect with licensing partners throughout the nation because we want to hit the ground and not take our foot off the pedal. Like, we are going to release an entire different genre of collegiate apparel at all these universities in rapid succession, and hopefully be able to, build brand equity with that sort of idea.
So you get the you, but it's also an advantage you have is that you are a part of the collegiate licensing company because you can't just sell this out of your trunk of your car without getting in a lot of trouble. But since you have that, you've got legal protection. But one of the things that impressed me about what you've done is you captured something that happened about 40 years ago. It was a guy, Neil Stillwell, who had a design that was hats. And he came to Coach Dye, and he said, "Will you wear my hat during a football game?" And at that point, Coach Dye said, "Yeah." He said, "I'll give you a couple $1,000, Coach Dye," and Dye wore the hat. Well, Neil Stillwell had his product advertised through 3 hours of an Auburn game. So every Auburn nut sees a hat like Coach Dye, and they want to go buy a hat like the coach. Then he called Bobby Bowden, who was, I called Bowden for Stillwell, and Bobby Bowden did the same thing. Bobby Bowden has said that the money, he got so much money from wearing the hat that it paid for his children to go to college. And that's what Terry Bowden talked about tuition inflation. But the fact that you've been able to parlay that with the coaches here, Freeze and Pearl, like Dye and Bowden, and then they got Georgia that laid off at the time, they got G. Stars. But you got a recognizable athlete in this, Dylan Hartley. We may be the most recognizable athlete on this campus, right? Whether you follow basketball, he just is. But I think you've got the right touch because you figured out the way to hit the celebrity side of the endorsement deal, which is that, because what's going to differentiate you from anybody else selling a t-shirt, right? It's going to be that endorsement side of it. So what is your plan to scale it just outside of Auburn? You have the different designs.
Yes, sir.
How does that look?
Yeah, and you made a great point with the Dylan Cardwell thing, and that is really another part of our philosophy, like I said, each and every university has their own things to make them special, and the fans and alumni connect. And Dylan Carwell is one piece of that here at Auburn now. It's always growing and evolving. And the way we're going to tap into that is by utilizing the same model that Barstool Sports and Old Row have, where you have independent ambassadors, students that are a part of each campus and are also a part of our company. So they're going to help us incorporate that and get the same sort of guerrilla marketing feel at every university. And I've already worked on building that out. I've got some close friends at different universities throughout the SEC who's helping with that.
So just to circle back around, I just want to get some clarity on my original question. So in the case of the Dancing Bears thing, your corporate strategy is, we're going to reproduce these shirts essentially claiming that they're parody on what would otherwise potentially be a protected mark, and we're going to be reactionary, not proactive. We're going to wait and see if they send us a cease and desist, and then we're going to propose some sort of co-branding concept.
No, we're already in the process of working out these programming.
So you are
For
proactive.
GTA, for example,
to liquid blue and saying we want access to the Grateful Dead Dancing Bears.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
No, we're proactive on that end, and we're already in the process of all of those deals. I've had these designs made since last summer. So, like, for the GTA one, for example, I've got a meeting with Rockstar Games in New York in, like,
Right.
a handful of weeks.
And so when your conversations with them proactive, that was, are you reacting or are you being proactive?
We're proactive. We were reactive at first, like, with the freeze pearl thing, I said, and it was the honest truth. I didn't know that licensing was a thing. It wasn't me being reactive as a business strategy, it was me just not understanding at the time. So I've taken a step back since that whole experience to really delve into this industry because I see a much bigger opportunity. We're going to be proactive on that
I
end.
want to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
In that proactive nature, are you talking numbers already with these organizations? And
Yes,
are
sir.
you, what are the splits that you're talking about and the sharing of that co-branded work? And how does that affect your margins in this type of area?
Yes, sir. Well, it varies university to university.
No. So the question is.
For the co-branded people, yeah.
To the owners, to them, the
Yes, sir.
sharing to them,
Yes, sir.
not to the cost.
Yes, sir. It's really one piece because, like, Alabama, for example, they take the highest cut. They take 20% of the cost. But with the advent of NIL, there's a lot of merchandise going around that's co-branded with athletes. It would put everyone out of business if they wanted another 20%, right? So the university comes down when you're doing a co-branding situation and splits that margin with whoever.
So
the
you got
other
the
market is.
metrics, you got the numbers that you need to
Yes, sir.
share on those proactive outreach.
Yes, sir.
All right, then the last question I've got is, if you are the design group, which you are, if you're doing all the printing, right, is that an asset or is that a constraint in your business model?
We're doing all the printing.
On all the shirts, in other words, they're buying the end product from you, the shirts, and now they're
You said you're doing drop ship.
On demand, I believe.
On demand
Yes,
drop
sir.
ship.
Yes, sir.
So y'all don't have any inventory in-house. Everything's ordered through the website and they drop ship.
We do have inventory on, like I said, once we've proven out demand for design, like the campaign collections, those have proven demand. We hold inventory on that because we sell through it quickly.
So where I was going with this, just hanging with me, sorry about this, this is important, I wanted one last question.
Yes, sir.
All right, so there are custom t-shirt shops around the country that, are buying and can do their own direct to film or direct to garment printing themselves. If you own the design, have you considered selling those designs, those copywritten kind of components to other manufacturers so your distribution isn't just through you, but it's through a global printing network that already exists?
Yes, sir. Well, we want to build out that distribution network over time, but first I want to build this as a real brand in the collegiate apparel space, and to do that, I think we need to focus on direct consumer, focus on getting our foundation at each and every one of these universities with our tag on the label, with everything, so that people associate our designs with our brand name. Then they can start selling it in retail stores all over the country. We're also going to bring that in-house at some point. Once we've proven out the demand for all of this and have the numbers, we can go to the TLC and be like, boom, 110 licenses at all the universities they manage, and get that all in-house and bring those costs even lower. And then we can really go wholesale, man. Then we can really push through the roof.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.